Hello, people. How are you doing today?
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Good. Thank you. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you.
That's amazing. And how about Mr. Anul? Yeah. How are you, man?
Yeah, I am fine too. Thank you very much.
That's amazing. Yeah. Still alive with the
Yeah, still alive.
fullest tempo that we have. Yeah, we can say that. So today the Istanbul is a little bit warmer than yesterday, and I think step by step we have to say hello to summer, which is
Yes.
kind of difficult, specifically in everywhere, not just in Istanbul, but of course generally in Istanbul, because if you want to go from one place to another place, I mean minimum 1 2 hours are going to be lost because of Istanbul. It is big city. So
Yes.
you are basically sweating, you are basically getting tired, and these kind of scenarios. Yeah. And let's say hello to Mr. Orhan. How are you, man?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good.
How are
Still alive. Thanks.
you?
Thanks for asking.
Hi everyone. By the way, uh, yeah, I hear what you were talking. Yes, it is normal. You're still alive, and you still continue to live in Istanbul.
Yeah, which is a kind of surprising. Yeah, definitely. Istanbul devours you. I mean, do you know devour? Like swallows you and consumes you. Yeah, absolutely. And let's say hello to Mr. Ahmed, as he's a little bit looks tired. Hi, how are you, man?
I'm good. What about you?
Still good. Let's say
Okay.
like that. Yeah. We were talking about the weather today. I think
Yeah,
today is a little bit warmer than yesterday. True?
yeah. I just shut down the how can I say heater. So
Today. Oh my God.
yeah.
We are not using it. It's totally hot. Not hot. Let's say warm, step by step. And
Yes.
we are welcoming the summer.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we talked about it. I mean, I only like summer if I go on a holiday. Otherwise, summer is a kind of hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agree?
Definitely.
Agree?
Yeah. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. Last summer I was like that.
Mm-hmm. Working, going, commuting. I heard something from students today, this morning, that they said that after Bayram, I mean, you can remove the masks even inside. Is that true? Yeah. He's nodding. Mr. Anil is nodding. Can you explain?
Yes, of course. Now the government in a meeting have a meeting.
Right
I
now.
think that right now, and it finished almost 5 minutes ago. I think that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the the newspapers waiting to explanation
Uh-huh.
for the removing the mask
Uh-huh.
and the other things. For example, the music stations, bar, and the pubs
Uh-huh. Also.
don't play music after the 12.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and
Is
now
that
maybe
because of Corona they cannot play, or because of some other issues?
the government says because of Corona, but
You don't
I
think
don't
so?
think so.
Hmm.
Anil,
Because
will it continue? Will it be continue?
Actually, normally yes, will it continue? But I think that nobody is, I don't know English, working that rule.
ah,
Yeah.
following that rule.
Yeah, following. Yeah.
I got it. Possible. So the question here, before asking, let's say hello to Mr. Ozan. How are you, man? Are you okay? Cool.
Okay, I am fine. And you?
Alive. Still alive. Let's say.
Yeah.
The question is, you talked about the inside, indoors. What about the public transportation, guys? For example, today, maybe yesterday, let's say, in public transportations, you must wear a mask. Is that included also? Or not? You don't know about it.
I think so. I think
Okay.
include. Maybe include.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, okay, inside, indoors, all right. But for public transportation, I think we still need to wear mask. In my opinion, because they are very crowded. You cannot imagine. Like, metro bus opens, 500 people gets in. You know, 500 people means 500 possibility of being infected if nobody is wearing mask. So the problem just goes forward. Anyway, as long as you are fine, everything is cool. Generally, you know, when somebody says, how are you doing? Generally, I mean, a friend says, I have two answers. I say, I am healthy. You know, generally, when people talk about themselves, for example, how are you? I am fine. Okay, but how? I mean, what do you mean by fine? Maybe not mentally, maybe just physically. We consider physical thing in the first, how can I say, priority. In the second priority, maybe we think about the emotions. But I directly consider emotion and feelings first, and then physicality, because I think psychology comes first, then our physic comes, because without the soul, the physic is nothing. Imagine that you are healthy, no problem with your body, but you are, let's say, demotivated on that day. Automatically, it affects your whole performance, even though your body is totally healthy, you are not tired, but emotionally you are tired or not fine, then it can affect you. That's why I generally say, you know, I am healthy, or if I say I am fine, it means that I'm really fine. Yeah, generally speaking. Now for today, we can continue our discussions. Okay, the topic of the discussion for hold on a second, I made a mistake. Yeah, the violence in the world. Okay, there is a website. I mean, there are a lot of topics. I randomly choose the topic. Unfortunately, there is nothing positive to talk about. I mean, generally, however you look at the world, everything is kind of negative. You know, look corona, look war, look, for example, famine, look, let's say politics, let's say economy. Everything is kind of negative, unfortunately. There's no positivity. But yeah, today we're going to talk about violence in the world today. Before starting the questions, I want to ask you, what is your definition or interpretation of the word violence? What is violence for you? I mean, when you hear violence, how do you imagine it? What does it mean for you specifically? Starting, who wants to first start? Start first.
I can start.
Please, go ahead.
When I hear the word violence, my first vision is always somebody fighting to someone. Mostly the one guy fighting with girl or small children. Yeah.
Okay. So
this is my imagination.
That kind of imagination, I got it. Okay. I would say, I mean, an adult person who is fighting with a kid or younger version of himself or herself, I would call it like bullying. And of course, bullying is a part of violence. True. That is true. All right. I can see Mr. Nevzat here with mask, and on Zoom you uncover that. Okay, how are you doing today?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Pretty good. Thanks for asking. How about you? Just fine?
Yeah, I am fine. Finally, we can come to lesson today.
Yes, you were absent, yeah, for a couple of days. I mean, for a couple of sessions, let's say. And let's say hello to Mr. Tujan. How are you doing today?
I'm just going with the flow.
Going with the flow. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Nice answer.
Thanks.
This is what it is. I mean, we cannot do against it. We can't, unfortunately. All of us want to do based on their own decision, but unfortunately the system doesn't let us to do so. Very good. So let me share the questions again as you just entered. Today we are going to talk about violence. I said before answering the questions, what is violence for you in your opinion? How do you see violence? First, Mr. Orhan answered. Who is next? Yes, please, Ms. Hande, you can answer.
Some wars, for example, Russia and Ukraine wars, or some husbands kill her wife.
That's true. Yeah.
Or some animals violence.
Yeah, that's true.
Different violence.
In the forest, yeah. Yeah, true. Nice examples.
Yes.
Nice examples. Thank you. What else? Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Ahmed.
I think violence can be a lot of things, but the first thing comes to my mind is physical side of violence. I mean, like fighting, war, etc.
Fantastic. True. The physical or practical kind of thing, which
it's the first thing that comes to my mind.
True. Makes sense. What else? Is there something different, guys, you want to say? Yeah, totally true, actually. Yeah, I mean, violence is something totally negative. You know, did I talk about connotation? What is connotation? Do you know? No idea? Connotation, let me explain this way. I mean, every word, guys, in English, I don't know about Turkish maybe, in English specifically, every word has got two different meaning, okay, at least. The first meaning is a general meaning, cool. Another thing about the word is the quality of feeling, I mean the feeling of the word, okay, which you get from it. That feeling is connotation. For example, we have the word love. This is a word, okay? Love. By default, love is positive. You cannot use it negatively. Love is always positive. In other words, love has a positive connotation. Understand? Love has a positive connotation. On the other hand, hate is always negative. Hate is always negative, and hate has got a negative connotation. Do you understand what happened? Yeah, that kind of meaning of the word. Here, violence by default is negative, cannot be positive. In my opinion, can't be. So, totally, when we are talking about violence, basically our explanation, our interpretation should be negative to me, if you ask me. And everybody was correct about their interpretation. Now let's go to the first question, starting with Mr. Ahmed. It says, when you hear the word violence, okay, actually we talked about it. The next question, is the world more violent today? Please make long sentences. Give examples. I mean, extend your answers, guys. Is the world more violent today comparing to yesterday? I mean, past.
And before, yeah, but I don't think so. It has been violence for a long time, but not for a long time. How can I say, for infinite? I don't know. For infinity, for the history of the human being.
From the beginning of the history, let's say. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from the beginning of the history, the world has always been violent, and I don't think that it is more violent today. Because let's think about World War II.
No.
Like how many people died in there? Like maybe 100 million.
Yeah.
It is like it is a big amount of population. I can say.
Absolutely.
And absolutely, there is some war happening in the world right now, in somewhere where we are not, but we cannot compare the numbers, I think. Because like it's so scary to start a new war right now, because I mean the casualties would be so much more, and that makes peace, I think.
Okay. Are you hopeful for the future? You mean, do you think that in the future the level of violence will decrease or increase?
I think it will change. The definition of the violence will change, because we cannot have that much of casualty right now. I mean, let's think that we have World War III right now. So what would be the casualty? I mean, the half of the population would be gone immediately.
Wiped out.
Because we are so much powerful than before. And I think this makes peace right now. People are not that bold to make that decision.
True. Lovely answer. I like that. Thank you. Now I think Ms. Hande, you raised your hand. You want to say something about it? Yeah, please.
Yes. Nowadays, unfortunately, many people has economic problems. Or some problems. Then unfortunately, world violence is increasing because everybody has psychological illness and not feel calm or a different feeling. So violence is increasing every day.
Yeah, true. So I think you're not hopeful for the future.
I hope the violence is decreasing, but not. I think it will increase.
Okay, possible. Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Tujan wants to say a couple of words.
I think the world is violent today, and it will get more violent because world population is increasing day by day, and we have limited sources. And when these sources are limited and the people are greedy, so there will be more wars. Today, I can't speak today. I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, they call it like politics of greed. The term politics of greed, which means that I want more and more and more. Never satisfied. Whatever it is, whatever that more is, you want more of that. Okay. In English, they call it politics of greed. Greed. You want it. Totally.
First time I hear.
Yeah, of course, you can Google it. Politics of greed. Yeah. Fantastic.
So it will get more violent. I don't see the light
I see.
at the end.
Yeah, good point. Of course, this is a kind of debatable, controversial topic. Everybody can be right based on his or her own mentality and perspective. Yeah, we're just talking. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who is next? Yes, please, Mr. Orhan.
I agree with my friends. Violence is yes. Violence. Sorry, violence is more today. It is sorry. It has been continuing from the first time. Before the, for example, before the Russia and Ukraine, it had, sorry, it was Palestine and Israel. Before that, UST and Iraq. The violence will be continue, I think. But it's my opinion. It will continue decrease because wars are evolving to technology.
Yeah.
So they will not use the human. They will use economy and technology. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yes, the countries. So maybe I hope this is bad, but I hope they will, if they will use the technology and economy, maybe they don't need to people, they don't need the soldier. So the die people population will decrease.
Okay. At least you're a little bit optimistic about that kind of situation, at least, let's say. Okay,
yes,
possible.
Yes, at least. Yeah.
Possible. Why possible? Because this is something that we have been seeing, watching in movies actually. Imagine Terminator 2 or Terminator, series. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, iconic Arnold. I was a kid. So, I mean, I always remember that. I mean, if there is a mentality like that, there's a possibility of making it happen, making it, make the dream come true, actually. Yeah, possible. Thank you. Who is next? Who wants to say, yeah, please, Mr. Anil?
In my opinion, these days, violence is more worse to the past,
Yeah,
but
comparing
but in a mental time or psychological, not physical. Why? We don't have any sickness in the before now, but we have now. It's called the social media bullying or social media.
Social media what? Bullying?
Yes. For example, you shared a small video or a small photo. Everybody write a comment under your photo, good or bad things, and the bad things is the most of all.
Yeah.
Because of this, you feel that you worst.
True.
Do you understand me?
I understand.
Yeah. Because of this, I think that there is a violence more worse, but in a mental time, in a psychological time. But in the past, this was the physical for war and the other things.
True.
But yeah, not these days, only the psychological.
Psychologically. True.
Yes.
Amazing. Very lovely. How can I say, example that you mentioned? Yeah, true. It makes sense. What about our other people? Yeah, please.
Yes, I can speak.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I agree with Hande and Tuğcan. Nowadays, especially in Turkey, lots of people has lots of psychological problem about economic crisis.
Yeah.
And we have to work lots of hours.
Yeah.
because of COVID, we don't have to spend funny times. We lose, I think, some emotions spent with times with friends, enjoyable times. I don't remember when I spent my friends, especially 10 friends, 20 friends, and there is a problem, I think, especially adults, and there is if there is a healthy adult and it comes healthy children. The violence is especially the first word is about women. In Turkey, there are lots of news violence about women. That's all. I don't happy about in the future.
I'm not hopeful.
Hopeful. Yes, I'm not hopeful.
Hopeful about the future. Okay, I got it. Yes, possible answer. And finally, Mr. Nevzat. Sorry, I told you before my allergy started. Yes, I become like a zombie sometimes. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Actually, I don't have any idea about this topic because I am not an expert. I don't know.
None of us are experts. We're just spitballing. We just, suggesting, talking like that.
And I don't have so much idea about the past, but we should have improve our mental maturity.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah. It's going to improve, I think. Maybe 100 years later, we will be in a good situation.
Yeah, possible. I mean, of course, everybody today, so far, of course, everybody is right actually. And the term violence can mean, when we are looking at the word violence, generally what we see or what we imagine is something physical, like blood, fight, kill, war, this kind of stuff. True, yeah. But thanks to technology, as somebody said, thanks to where is my pen? Yes, thanks to technology, the definition, the interpretation, the definition of violence has changed. Japanese are really good at technology. True? Yeah, right. They have a slogan. Maybe I manipulate it, but you can search it. They have a slogan. They say that West has got, let's say, soldiers. They go to war with their soldiers. Japanese say we go to war by our technology. We don't need soldiers. Understand what happened here? If you create something, you design something and you sell it, okay, this is a kind of war. Kinda, but a different form. So I want to say that the mentality, the interpretation of these concepts are going to change, actually changed. Yes, yesterday, the past, yeah, there were lots of war, killing, politics of greed, this, that, true, still. But the form has changed. Maybe I'm not so sure of the COVID-19. Of course, in the beginning, you could remember that some scientists said it could be a kind of laboratory handmade virus. Maybe still. If so, that is another violence. You don't need to, use your weapon or gun and kill someone. You just create something and just kill others. Economically, politically, socially, anything, whatever you want to say. Understand what happened? So I would say, yeah, in the future, the violence will increase, but the form of violence will definitely change. And somebody said Mr. Arnold says social media bullying. I like that. True. This is another new form of violence, which we can basically see and witness, experience it today. Totally right. Totally right. What about the next question? Are there different sorts of violences, like physical, mental, psychological, domestics, or different things? I mean, you can answer it like, what sort of violences do you know, and what sort of or sorts of violence, in your opinion, are very dangerous, much more risky, dangerous? You can talk about that. Before talking, let's say hello to Ms. Hatice. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Still alive?
Yeah, how are you?
I got it. Still alive. Thanks for asking. Yeah. We are talking about the violence indeed. Of course, you're very late. But no problem. You can just try to get on the boat. So maybe Mr. Ahmed can start with the second question. What do you have to mention about it?
Yeah, I mean, the physical violence has always been and always will. And psychological violence, absolutely. Mentally, I don't know. A lot of variety of violence exists. I cannot even name it. But I think the most dangerous one would be maybe psychological and the physical at the same time. I don't have any answer because
can you give us some examples?
Yeah, actually I have something to talk about.
All right,
so yeah. The other day I saw an article that says Genghis Khan, Genghis Khan, have killed 1.5 million people in Nishabur. Do you know Nishabur?
Nishabur is in Iran, yes.
Yeah,
true.
1.5 million. I mean, like, look at this violence. And after the day that I read that, I see Will Smith
slapping.
punching the guy, and
slap.
We were what is that?
Slap.
Yeah, slapping Chris Rock, and we were all talking about that, and I thought that we have changed, we have softened, like
a little bit softened, yes.
Yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, I thought that this is another type of violence because it did not harm physically. I mean, the Chris Rock. But it did harm mentally in the eyes of a billion people, maybe.
True.
So
attention.
But attention. But I cannot still say that the physical side of it is more dangerous or psychological side is more dangerous. I don't know. I cannot say anything. Because if you make one person, how can I say, torture? I mean, in the psychological way. And that one person can become another Hitler. I don't know.
True. Definitely right.
Right. I don't think that it has any majority.
Yeah. Totally right. I see eye to eye with you on this topic because, as I mentioned earlier, generally speaking, people see violence in physicality, like physical thing. But as you mentioned also, I mean, the psychological aspect of this, I think, is much more dangerous than the other one, the effect of that for the future. Understand? Maybe you slap me. Okay, I will feel some pain. After a couple of minutes, it will go away. but psychologically it become like a trauma. I would be traumatized by something that you said, by something that you did. I don't know. So if I am traumatized, in my opinion, in the future I will always remember it. I will always remember it, okay? So in that scenario, I would say both of the sides, perspectives, angles, whatever, are really important. Yeah, I mean equally important, I would say. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Ozan, do you want to say a couple of words about this? Second question. Third question, actually.
Yes, I didn't. I think the physical violence is more dangerous to physical to mental violence.
Really? Okay.
Yani if necessary, I can example for a woman.
Okay.
Especially in a home, there was a violence in for a woman. I think this affects the mental side.
Yeah.
I think in this example, the physical more important. But in our life, in our professional life, physical, mental violence is more important.
True.
Like mobbing.
Yes, mobbing. Yeah.
That's all.
True. However, you look at that, the word violence, because as I mentioned, the word violence has got a negative connotation. Remember connotation? What happens? It is by default a negative word. It cannot be positive. However you look at that, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and. Yeah, thank you. The next person can be Mr. Anil.
Yeah. Actually, it's how can I say? The psychological is the more important in these days. Also, I said on the before previous question, and so I don't have any words for this question actually. Sorry about that.
Maybe you can just give us some examples, maybe real life examples that you have experienced, you have heard, you have read or see somewhere. You can just talk about it if you want.
Okay. Maybe I can think a little bit.
Sure, why not? Sure, of course. Okay, now Mr. Orhan, you can say a couple of words. We have a minute, then we will connect to another meeting. Go ahead.
Okay, I agree with Ozan and Ahmet. Actually, mostly Ozan. This is cycle violence is more dangerous than physical violence, I think. I tried. I try to find the cartoon. There is a cartoon about that. When the boss use violence to employee, then employee when go to home to use violence to his wife. And then the woman will use the violence the children, and then the violence will use to pet. I don't know.
True.
So
I saw that. Oh my god.
I'm the fastest man alive.
Yeah, that's true. You must be, man. You must be. You're mechanically inclined. Do you know this term? You're mechanically inclined. Okay. It means that you are very good at, how can I say, mechanical things, maybe repairing mechanical things, machines, or dealing with it. Yeah, a nice.
It's a good term. Thank you.
Yeah, mechanic. You can say I am mechanically inclined. Very good. Yeah, sorry for that, Mr. Orhan. You were saying. Then finally, the kid is applying violence, implementing violence towards the pet, even the doll or objects, and it goes forward.
Yes, it will continue all the time. Yeah.
And from this generation to next generation to next generation, generation after generation, it will continue. Unfortunately, that's true. Okay, I lost the order. Who can speak next? Maybe Ms. Hatice can speak a couple of words about it, as you haven't spoken yet. Let me share the questions again.
Yes, of course. I couldn't join in the beginning, but I can say something about violence. Actually, I agree with them. I don't feel before any physical violence before. Also, in my around circle, nobody hurt because of the violence. So I don't know in real how it is. But every day we see in the news, and women murders is getting increased. So this is not good for Turkey, and really they are really bad situations, and it is very hard even to read about that, even to hear something about that women. It's not good. But the only violence that I feel about mobbing, actually, it's not so much in our factory, but sometimes we can feel that, and it hurts sometimes. It's not good. So
True.
I don't know. That's all.
Yes, amazing. I mean, yeah, definitely in the factories, in companies, big, small, I don't care. The mobbing is not tolerable. You're totally right about it. Mobbing is not tolerable. And you say, okay, what is my problem? I mean, yeah, I'm doing my job. Why you are applying any mobbing on me? Why? And that is not tolerable and not understandable, not acceptable, and whatsoever. Yeah, thank you. Maybe Mr. Tujan can speak a couple of words.
Okay, I think the physical violence is the most common one, but violence can occur in different ways.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be psychological, emotional, like when someone threatens another people, that people can be frightened and passes his days or her days like all the time looking back, is someone chasing me, or if someone is following me.
True.
And it could be sexual abuse or financial abuse, like Britney Spears, you know.
I heard, yeah, I am not so sure about it. Yes, today the trend is Johnny Depp on YouTube. Wherever you see Johnny Depp, Instagram, Johnny Depp, TikTok, Johnny Depp. There.
It's also a violence.
Also, yeah, true.
I guess.
True.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, violence of a woman against men, which is very rare. Yeah, interesting. You're right. You're right about it. Yes. Who is next? Mr. Nevzat maybe can talk about it a little bit.
Actually, I a bit lost because in the background I talked with someone. What was the question? Sorry.
What was the question, guys? Do you remember? Who remembers that? I had the question. You remember? Okay. What is the question?
What kind of violence is the most dangerous one?
Yeah, what kind of violence is the most dangerous one? Yes.
Okay. I think it's mental.
Mental one. Can you give
Yeah.
us some examples?
Because if you have some problem about your mental health, after that it's going to be physical. You know, some people make something in metro or schools in United States because they have some mental issues.
Yeah.
After that, they doing some physical activity. Yeah, unacceptable physical activities.
Yeah, they're applying some unacceptable physical behaviors, you mean, towards others. Yeah, true. Very good. I think everybody talked. Yeah, for this question. Maybe we can move on to the next one. What forms of violence have you noticed? We have just talked about it. Very repetitive question. Do people tend to be more violent when they group together? Understand what happens? For example, you're alone today, okay? Tomorrow you are with your friends. Do you feel that you have power and you can apply violence? Is there such a kind of mentality or emotion? Mr. Ahmed, can you start?
Yeah, I think so. So how can I say it in English? It's how can I explain? It's so hard. I mean,
you have to do the hardest things, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at the history, that actually what happens is in physical silence. I mean, in wars, one populist fascist come up with his own popular ideas.
Yeah.
Tells the people some idea, and some agree, some not. But with that population, I mean, with that bold population, he can do a lot of things. He can do whatever he wants, whatever, or she, I don't know. And after the reaching that power or reaching that population, I mean, the population itself makes some bad things, some violent things after that, not the leader maybe. And it always been like that. I mean, look at the dramatic things happened in our countries. I mean, so I don't know. Not individuals making the mass killings. Actually, it is the group of people, and if you're a group of people, it is more easy to have bold decisions.
True.
Easier to have a bold decisions.
Lovely answer. That is correct. Thank you for that. Totally right. And maybe Mr. Ozan, on the other hand, over here, you can start. Okay.
Yes, there is. If there is lots of men, there is lots of violence.
Oh my God! Why you're belittling our gender, man? Do you think that men by default are symbol of violence? Generally, yes. Yeah, you're right. Generally,
We are when we are alone in the car.
Yeah, we are.
There is no violence.
There's no violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
We when someone horn or crash us, we
go angry.
We're not angry, but if there is 3 or 4 people in a car, there is no problem.
I see. Yeah, I mean, you are trying to threaten the other person so that the person can just buzz off. Very good. Thank you. And the next person is Mr. Nevzat over here. Over there. Go ahead.
Sorry, but I missed the question again. Yeah.
You're totally, I think, tired. or not focused?
Yeah, I am a
Like
bit
that.
tired and I am a bit busy today.
Okay. All right. Maybe you can think about the
Maybe
question.
I will be the next, maybe.
Hopefully.
Next one.
Next one. Okay. Now, Miss Hatice, you can start.
Can we repeat the question, please? Which one? Sorry.
It says, do you think that, okay, do people, hold on a second, the Zoom chat is not really handy. Hold on a second. Do people tend to be more violent when they group
Okay.
together? Okay, like gang, mob, crowd, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, and I totally agree with Ahmet. And I would like to add something more. For example, I'm not talking about violence. Actually, I will talk about violence, but another type. Actually, when people be together, and if you are against them, you can feel that they have more power. And if you are talking in a different idea about different ideas, and if you are alone, you can feel the pressure on you. And in that kind of things, for example, let's check another scenario. And if there's a person alone, and again, you are in the different ideas, actually, you can talk, I don't know how to say, warmer than the other one.
Warmer, softer.
Yes, because people feel that if there are other people that supporting himself, that kind of thing gives him another power, because they are in a group, and their voices is more high. So the against one feel the weakness. So maybe it's not violence, but could be. It's again a group thing, and yeah. So like this. So my idea is yes.
There is always a possibility of implementing violence if you are with your friends or with your gang. I mean, because you feel that you are powerful, and then you are on the verge of applying any violence. True. Specifically for younger people like kids or teenagers is much more possible than for old people. I mean, adults are tired, totally busy. I mean, people are really tired, and the situation is like, for example, in a way that if somebody asks your name, you just forget. You forget yourself because of that tiredness, because of that a lot of things which are going on. You don't have time to think about violence. Understand what I say? So next person is Mr. Orhan. You can speak about this question a little bit.
Yes, even though it depends on human personality, but it is mostly yes, yes. Sorry, I couldn't collect the sentence.
If you are with your gang.
No, I will translate directly from Turkish to English.
Okay, let's see.
Yes, if you are in a gang, you suppose you are sheep. Yeah.
You are what?
Sheep.
Shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The gangs. Sorry. The gangs give you the feel power. Yeah. I want to give you, for example, it was in high school time. It was about me. We went to watch a game, basketball. It was our school team. After the game, we joined some fight, small fight. If I watched only alone, if I watched alone, there was nothing. Yeah. So my friends. Sorry, I joined because of my friends, for example. Yeah.
I understand. Of course, there's a possibility. There's a kind of I don't want to say motivation, but a kind of tendency to become violent because you are not alone. Yeah, true. And Mr. Tuğcan can start.
My opinion is actually very close to Mr. Orhan's, but it may explain. So let's say there is 4 or 5 people who are cowards and tend to be more mild individually.
Okay.
But when they are together in a group, they can act more wild by taking strength from each other.
What kind of strength is that actually? Is that a kind of psychological strength?
Psychological
or
strength.
Hollow strength or what kind of? Maybe...
It's like, do you know the animal hyena?
Hyena.
Yeah, hyena.
Hyena,
okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You can imagine a group like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They live as a form of big groups, true.
Yeah, big groups, but they're very weak individually. But by grouping, they can fight with a lion.
True. Amazing example. True. Totally. Thank you. And next person can be Ms. Hande.
I think every people tend to more violence because sometimes clans, sometimes mobs, sometimes cross groups. Because, for example, war is cross groups or gangs or husbands kill his wife.
Yeah.
Or sometimes violence, animals violence. Sometimes children violence.
Yeah.
I think yes. Unfortunately, every people tend to more violence about economics problems or different political problems.
True. So everybody tends to be a little bit much more violent because of economical situation. Amazing example. Amazing. Now maybe finally Mr. Anol can speak for a few minutes.
Yes, of course.
The stage is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I have 2 ideas for this question.
Okay.
My first idea for men and also for the gangs or of the crowds, no problem.
Yeah.
When they together, yes, the violence is more and more
tangible.
Yes, tangible. Why? Because the men have to prove yourself when they're together.
Yeah.
Because of this, the more violence when they are together. But for the woman side, it's changed because when the woman alone, they are thinking too much, and it causes the too violence.
Yeah.
And this is my thought.
You should not leave your woman alone.
Yes.
Then game over.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Amazing examples. Now let's move on to the next question. A good question, by the way, starting with Mr. Ahmed. It says, in what areas is there an increase in the level of violence? For example, football as a kind of popular sport, politics, religion, environment, etc. Lovely question.
I have a radical opinion about it.
Okay.
So absolutely, in football, politics, religion, I mean, it's always rising up. But in soft areas like environment or gender equality or some things that cannot be linked with violence, I mean, it is rising up a little bit faster than the other topics, I mean. So if we would talk about gender equality or environment 10 years ago, we would all agree in some opinion, I mean. But now, as we can see in America, in European countries especially, that where can you speak freely about your opinions? I mean, you see the violence is rising up in both of the sides, both of the wings, I mean.
True. So, in other words, you want to say that the violence increase in the level of violence can be seen in almost everywhere, but
yeah, everywhere.
The amount is different, can be.
Yeah, I mean that in everywhere violence is rising up. I mean, politics, religion, football, but especially in soft topics, like especially in the topic. Yeah, how can I say it? I don't know. In the topics that you can have only in democratic countries, like all free countries, it is rising up too. Yeah, and it is a little bit faster, I think.
Faster
than politics, I mean, or religion.
Or some other issues. Yeah, nice. Lovely example. Mr. Nevzat, are you ready to answer this question?
Sorry, but I missed the question. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, which one?
I think it's like politics and religion, because in the past and also now, lots of people die because of these two topics. Yeah, actually, it's always about the money and power.
Politics of greed, I mentioned.
Yeah.
Politics of greed. Money, power, fame, more and more of something. Definitely. Okay, thanks. And the next person can be Mr. Anol. Yeah, very busy. I think you are using your brain like 100%. Really? Really? I mean, the telephone is here, the laptop is there, somebody is asking something, you have some other issues. The brain is working 100%.
Not up to, maybe 25%.
25. Yeah. The maximum percentage should be like 10 or 11, something like that. Have you? By the way, have you watched the film Lucy, Scarlett Johansson?
No, I don't.
Definitely watch that. I just remember Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. With the great performance of Morgan Freeman, as usual. Yeah. Okay, forget about cinema. Go ahead.
Yeah. No problem.
Go ahead.
Okay. Our question is, what areas is there an increase the level of violence?
True.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The first area is exactly the football area, football match. Actually, to Argentina and to Turkey, because for example, Galatasaray and Fenerbahce match is always there is a violence.
Yeah. When one side is the winner.
Yes. Yeah.
The
one
other side
is the loss. Yeah. The second is the I think that how can I say, in the school, for example, in Turkey, yes, school, because I believe that the violence is start on in the school.
True.
we face to face with the violence in schools.
True.
So
That's
the
true.
second place is the schools.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, you're right. The football is very sensitive topic issue here in Turkey. There are, of course, football is very kind of universal thing and everybody loves it, but the intensity of, I mean, the level of sensitiveness, let's say, of football in Turkey is dramatically high. Dramatically high. So I think you have to avoid discussing, or I don't know, saying something which provokes the other person's emotion, so that big fight can start. Yeah, but generally you're right. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Hande.
I think not the different areas is there an increase. It is, and this situation is related to propensity to violence. Because if a person is propensity to violence, he or she make a violence everywhere.
That's true. I mean,
Not for, because home violence or domestic violence or street violence or football violence or wars.
Yeah.
Not citizens areas are related to. Only related propensity violence people.
True. I mean, generally, before solving...
Not generally, only football. I don't agree. Because war or husband kills her wife at home.
Yeah.
Which?
Of course. I said generally, if we want to talk about violence, before solving the issue, we have to find the origin of the issue. Why this person is a violent person? What is the reason? What happened to that person, man or woman? No difference. What happened to that?
Not difference. Gender are related.
Yeah.
Everybody is related. If everybody are propensity violence, he make it.
True. Exactly. That is totally right.
Everywhere.
So we have to find the origin of the problem first. Other than that, we cannot solve the case. True. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
And what about Ms. Hatice? You can start to talk about it.
Yes, about football, political area, all this area, I think it's increasing. For me, the main reason is about education again.
Yeah.
Actually, we talked about this before too.
Undoubtedly, yeah.
Yes, maybe I think there are some research, I don't know, but if you will go to rich world and poor world, just we talked the previous lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also regarding with that. Because if you will check the measurements about violence in one day, 1 month in the rich world countries, you will see that it's less. I'm sure of that because I don't know, but I'm sure actually.
You're sure of
yeah, because the education level, if it will be high, the violence will be less. We know, everybody know this. And I think it's about education and family knowledge. I don't know, about the love. If the person has so much anger in the past, in his childhood, we are totally sure that he will show his anger to anyone else again, because he knows that he felt that before, and it's like a mirror. I think Orhan said the same thing. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for that. The next person can be Mr. Ozan.
Mr. Hatice stole my ideas. Yes.
Okay. Paraphrase it. No problem.
Yeah. Violence is everywhere, especially in politics and football in Turkey,
Yeah.
I can say. In briefly, if there is not respect, love, and tolerance, there is violence.
True. Amazing. Amazing. Very lovely
And the
quotation.
yeah, and the education is important. I agree with Hatice.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Everything goes through education. Everything, undoubtedly. A very short correction, of course, I have to say. Maybe I told this before, but you can say briefly or in brief.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah.
That's okay. Briefly, blah blah blah. Very good. Thank you. And next person can be Mr. Tujan. Go ahead. The stage is yours.
Okay. The main reason can be disagreement. If there is violence in areas like football, politics, religion, violence occurs because of the disagreement. That was the question, right? I was on a.
No.
I was in the bathroom.
The question before that, actually. This is the next question.
Okay, in what areas is there an increase in the level of violence?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mean
I don't think
in
there's
all of the okay.
Yeah, all of them are acceptable, and I don't think there is something left to add.
Yeah. Maybe you can talk about the intensity of that. Which one has got, higher intensity? How can I say? The level is higher in that, or the risk level is higher than that. Others.
Countries as Turkey, there is a increase in the area like football and politics and religion. I remember my parents were telling me that in the Ramadan, don't try not to drink or eat outside because someone can say something to me.
True.
I don't think it's valid nowadays because people are now not that much angry about it, I guess.
People solve that with themselves.
I believe.
I think
but I try not to talk about politics or religion in some places.
True. Why should you? Yeah, pretty much the same. Because these are sensitive topics, in my opinion, and because not everybody has got that much tolerance, that much understanding. So what happens? The person is basically can be vulnerable. The others can just cause some problems, specifically in smaller cities, smaller areas, I would say, rather than big cities or bigger mega cities like Istanbul. Yeah, it is much more feasible, much more tangible, so to speak.
Yeah,
you're right. Fantastic. One thing that I can tell, you said in Ramadan, which is correct. I would say during Ramadan.
Yeah, of course.
Both of them are okay, no problem grammatically. Thank you. And I lost the order. Maybe I think Mr. Orhan, did you talk about? No. Yes.
No,
it's your turn. Yes.
I will talk, but I need to jump on another meeting. I think the same meeting with Hatice and Anıl.
Okay.
But before I leave, I can talk.
Please.
It is these. Sorry, we can see the violence most of time. These place, football area, politics area.
Yeah.
And it depends on the education. I agree with Hatice.
Definitely.
And nowadays, I think if you already education people, if you are already education people, even if you are educated, educated, you don't have enough money, you don't get your basic necessities, yeah, you can feel angry. Yes. Nowadays it depends on mostly economy.
Absolutely.
And the houses, family houses, increase the violence, I think.
Absolutely, you're totally right about it. Definitely. I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on education and economy. I think
Yes.
these are the main reasons why a person can become violent. Mainly economy today, and of course
Today, yeah.
education. They are related. They are intermingled with each other. You cannot just remove them from each other, in my opinion. So mainly economy and education can cause, I mean, bad economy, bad education can cause violence in the society, so to speak. Yeah, very good.
Yes.
We have, thank you. We have a couple of minutes to go. Just
See you, by the way.
yeah. Okay, take care of yourself. Let's just
Yes.
sum it up. I don't want to move on the next question. If you want, make it, maybe you can make it very, very quickly. Starting with Mr. Ahmed. I mean, what is the cause? What was the question?
What is what?
The next question. Which one is the next question, actually?
What are the causes of violence?
Okay, yeah, very briefly. We have very limited time.
So a lot of things can be the cause of violence. It can be jealousy. It can be corrupt. It can be a lot of things. I don't know, economics, and I cannot even name it. I don't know. Maybe
Anything
there are
can
hundreds
be
of.
included, you mean?
Yeah. Even the good intentions can cause the violent things.
True. Whatever we do can cause any violence. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Hande.
I think only propensity of violence or psychological problem, because if a man is rich, he should violence, or he is unemployment, he make a violence. Only psychological problem and propensity of violence.
Yes, again, it is related to economy. If you're unemployed, you don't have enough money, so it leads to a violent situation. Totally true.
No, not economic problem. If he is rich, he violence.
True. Of course, it is another example. You said unemployment. I mentioned about that situation. Of course, a rich person, if he or she is not psychologically okay, yeah, can create some violence also. True. Psychology. Yeah. Thank you. And Mr. Nevzat, maybe you can say a couple of words.
Yeah, I agree with Hande. Lots of things will be the cause of the violence. For the person, sometimes the small things will be the cause, like jealousy. But if I talk with governments, it's about money. Like I mentioned before, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, also, I have to go to the meeting.
All right, we are going actually. Thank you, all of us. Thanks. See you. Mr. Tujan, you talked about.
I think there is two main reasons behind this, and first of it is disagreement, and the other one is feeling inferior to the other person.
Amazing. I love that. Fantastic. And what about Mr. Ozan?
I think the main reason is education and culture, family culture, country culture.
Yeah, this kind
and yes, government's economic level is, I think, is important.
True. Amazing. Guys, you were amazing today. Of course, a tough topic to speak about, but you could handle it amazingly. Lovely to see you again. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.